Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Podcast Unite. I'm Dennis.
And I'm Joey.
Yeah, this is a four-part show. The intro, the news section, the topic section, and the pitch of the week, which today we're going to talk about.
Jack 4.
Yeah, we're gonna pitch our version of Jack 4. I have been thinking about this a lot, and yeah, we just kind of randomly started talking about Jack and Daxter, and they're like, "Oh, we should pitch that today."
Well, yeah, I mean, now that Naughty Dog has announced that there will be remasters or remakes for Crash Bandicoot, then why not do it for Jack and Daxter's
Yeah,
as well?
I don't think Naughty Dog's making those remasters though,
Too bad.
and that's the thing. That's the thing too. Is it a remaster or remake?
Well, I mean, I think it's gonna be a complete remake,
Yeah,
but
because no one knows. We can take this up in the topic section. Actually, no one knows what remakes, remasters, or anything are. So
what do you
we'll
mean
have
they don't
this.
know the difference?
Yeah, no one knows the difference. You have
Well,
like Last of Us Remastered. That is a
yeah.
remastered game.
hmm
That is a PS3 version of a game, uprest and like enhanced on PlayStation 4. Then you
Yeah.
have something like DuckTales Remastered, which is a complete remake. It's not a remaster of the original 8-bit game. So, yeah, we can talk more about that in the topics. Anyway, how
Yeah.
are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks. It's been a long day, not doing that much, but otherwise I'm doing good.
That's
How
cool.
about you?
Yeah, I just came home from less school.
Ooh.
Yeah, we just had like a long lecture about how to search for articles, which was fun, I guess.
That sounds interesting. Were
Yeah.
you on Google or what?
Just like inferior things to Google. So, what have you been playing lately?
Not that much, actually. I've still been like playing back and forth on the Pokemon Sun and Moon demo.
Yeah, I mean, there were
Otherwise,
a lot more stuff than people kind of expected in there.
well, yeah, but
There
I
are a lot
think
of secrets and stuff in there.
yeah, but I don't know how to progress anymore because I think I'm stuck. You could talk to Professor Kukui, and he would give you like hints on people to forward you to as to progress in the story or the demo.
You're supposed to
Um,
go up north and go to the cave with the trial.
you mean and fight the what's the dragon's Pokemon name?
The
That one?
Como O or something like that.
Yeah, but I already did that. That's in the first part.
Yeah, then you're done. Now it's just free roaming.
Seriously, I thought there was more.
I don't think there's anything else.
And the only thing that
Yeah,
know,
there are some
huh?
like free roaming stuff after that. So what you can do is because you saw the trailer, right? There's
Mhm.
like this trailer that shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you boot it up again, you get into this kind of free roam mode where you can ride a Tauros.
Mhm.
Did you get the Tauros?
Yep.
Yeah, and you can also go catch Pokemon.
Yep, I've done that too.
Yeah, then you can also try to find the girl that lets you see the Alolan Dug trio. But yeah, there aren't really a lot more than that.
Mm.
But yeah, there were more than anyone I think expected there to be.
So yeah, other than that, I've only been playing on my PS4. The only games I play on that is like trying to finish up Rise of the Tomb Raider, the DLCs, and I've been playing Bloodborne a lot too,
Cool.
and that's about it. What about you?
I've been playing a lot of Titanfall 2.
Oh, that's got a release now, right?
Yeah, I really love that game. I was a huge fan of Titanfall 1.
hmm
So Titanfall 2 was just like it was just awesome. Like there's not a lot of times where you've had like a game that comes out and I mean it was kind of subpar. There were some things that people didn't like about the game.
Yeah.
And they said like, yeah, we're going to fix that in Titanfall 2. 2 years later, they fix all that in Titanfall 2.
Okay, but catch me up on this. Rewind. What is Titanfall? What kind of game is that?
Yeah, so Titanfall is it's made by the team behind Call of Duty, the original Call of Duty, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, the original Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 4, and Modern Warfare 2.
Mm.
And if maybe you remember, but back like during the development of Modern Warfare 3, I believe, or like just before that, there was like this big like legal thing between Vince Zampella, the creator of Call of Duty,
Hmm.
and Activision, and it resulted in Vince Zampella being just forced out of the Activision building,
Okay.
and he was of course fired. I mean, there's more to that story, but I'm just doing the quick and easy part here. So yeah, like the day after he founds Respawn Entertainment,
Hmm.
which is just kind of a cool name because yeah, in the multiplayer you respawn, but then you can also see it like, okay, so kind of the creator of Call of Duty kind of died in a way, and now he respawned. So yeah, that's kind of a cool reference, a double reference.
Okay.
And yeah, just like then he partners up with well, he starts developing Titanfall.
Hmm.
And Titanfall is he teams up with EA to release it. But yes, Titanfall is a first-person shooter.
Hmm.
The first one was only multiplayer, but the second one has a single player too. And the game has double jumps, wall running, and massive ass mechs that you can jump into and battle with. And what is so cool about it is that the maps are made in that way that there are these kind of open spaces with these kind of small routes in between. So you play as the pilots, which are the ones where you can double jump with and all that.
Yeah.
And then you have the Titans, which are the big mechs.
Mm.
And then there are also this kind of MOBA-esque AIs running around. So there are grunts and specters, and in Titanfall 2 there are also stalkers and reapers. So these are kind of just AI-controlled minions that just run around and try to kill you, but they're kind of just cannon fodder.
Mm.
But it makes you feel more badass because you just kill everything. But yeah, so you just kind of run around as the pilots until you get enough points to call down a Titan, and then you then call for a Titanfall, which is when a Titan just fucking falls down from the sky wherever you call it down, and it's so fucking epic. You hear like stand by for Titanfall. It's like just a Titan comes down from the sky. And then you jump into the Titan, and I mean, the Titans were just kind of mechs in the first game where you just kind of have weapons and you can punch with it and stuff like that. But this in Titanfall 2, there's one Titan that has a fucking Final Fantasy 7-esque sword. It's so fucking epic. You can hold it up and deflect shots and shit. Like, it's so fucking epic. So yeah, it's just awesome, like straight through. And somehow they've made everything seem logical as well. In like a futuristic world, of course, but it's just like inspired by a lot of like Japanese stuff and stuff like that. And it just kind of it just feels natural in a way. It feels like a natural evolution of technology in a way, but it still feels just go awesome, like straight through.
Well, that sounds like a cool game. Might pick up that.
Yeah, like it's really fucking awesome. Actually, we should and if you buy it, we should play it together.
You're playing it on the Xbox, right?
No, I play on PC.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. All right. You don't have a PC, do you? Or
I
like,
do.
I mean, like a gaming PC.
Well, I mean, it's all right, but it's not the best. But
yeah, it runs on the Source engine, which is very scalable.
Got it.
So it's possible that it could run. It ran on my old laptop, which is like 4 years old by now.
Hmm.
I mean, Titanfall 1 ran on that, but yeah. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of that, and I really love that game.
Hmm.
Also, there's this cool weapon that's called a smart pistol,
Okay.
and like everyone hates it, but I love it. So basically, what it is, it looks like a normal pistol,
Hmm.
and you get this like pretty big field on the screen, where all you have to do is just keep your enemies within this field for a short period of time,
Hmm.
and then fire, and then all of them will die.
Wow. I mean, isn't that kind of an OP weapon?
The thing is, like people just say that it's OP. Oh, it's auto aim the weapon and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not actually that OP because of like Titanfall's nature, like being very fast and you just double jump and run around and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
It is pretty hard to actually maintain another pilot in your reticule long enough.
Mm.
If they're just running around and all that. And so, like on like grunts, you just need to get one lock on, and a lock on is like 1 second, I think.
Yeah.
And then you have like specters, which are like robots. You need 2, and then on pilots you need 3.
Mm.
So you need to get in, like you need to have a pilot in your aim for like 3 seconds, which is a lot of time. Like if they're moving around. And also, the gun is basically completely useless if you do not lock in, which means that if you run into someone with an assault rifle or a shotgun, you're gonna die first because you have to wait 3 seconds before you can fucking shoot. So I don't think it's OP, but people think it's OP. Yeah. And in Titanfall 2, it's no longer a primary weapon; it's more like a mid-match unlockable weapon, which I mean, that's my only negative about Titanfall 2. Because I only used the smart pistol in Titanfall 1. It just kind of changed up the gameplay, which is kind of fun. But yeah, I've learned to play it like a normal FPS by now. Yeah, I think that's it for the intro. Mm-hmm. So we'll get into the news. We have a lot of news today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 stories.
That's a lot of news compared to last time.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see you after this. All right, welcome back to the news. Are you excited?
Well, for some of them, yes. Especially a couple of games that I'm looking forward to that we've been waiting for way too long. And you probably know which game I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
yeah, let's go through the story. So we got the first story, which is Nintendo announced on Twitter that they will announce more Nintendo Switch information at their Nintendo Switch presentation 2017, which will be streamed live from Tokyo on January 12th, 2017. So what do you think about the date and everything about this announcement?
I'm not usually sure, like, when Nintendo usually announces their news. But I guess it's a good time because it's at the very beginning of the year, which will build up the hype for their upcoming release in March, was it?
Yeah, March. I think it's continue.
So this is a really good move on them because this would just build up the hype from all the people, and they could just feed us with content because that's what people are expecting, not only about the Switch itself, but also about upcoming games, which they'll probably reveal more about. Yeah.
I think it's a really, really smart announcement by them because it allows them to focus on the things that they're actually releasing this fall, like 3DS games, Super Mario Run, and the NES Classic.
Yeah.
So instead of just every time that they go public about these things, instead of just getting Switch questions all the time, they can actually focus on this.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, and they also, by not having the presentation like in November or December or October or something like that, they avoid just getting covered by all the games like Call of Duty and all that being released now. So yeah, they by talking in January, they just avoid all the clutter, you know.
Exactly.
And it's also just smart revealing it now, so they don't have to. So they won't have to answer the question every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think we'll see at the presentation?
I mean, people will probably get their hands on. Is it going to be like a presentation for the public, or is it just going to be a live stream?
So it's going to be a live stream. We don't know if it's going to be like on stage or just like a Nintendo Direct or something like that. But we know that they have booked space at some kind of venue in Tokyo at November, was it 13th to 14th, or like 18th or something like that?
Yeah.
So, and also they also said that there will be events in London and somewhere in the US as well. So we're definitely gonna have people definitely gonna get hands on with the system.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I do think that we're gonna get as much coverage as possible regarding how it plays out. And we'll just have to see what games are available at the time too. But I think just as much coverage about how the console feels and plays is what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to it though, especially like the co-op bit. About how it plays like local and between two Switch consoles. So we'll see how it works.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We're probably not gonna get a bunch of technical information because Nintendo doesn't really like to talk about that. But I think we're definitely gonna get an announcement that it's a touchscreen. I think. Because it seems like it's a touchscreen, and also that these Joy-Con controllers have IR sensors on them.
Yeah.
Because the rumor is that when you don't have the screen capable with you, when it's actually in the dock, that touch input will be replicated by pointing at the screen, Wii style.
Oh, okay.
Which is it's a pretty good way to solve it. Which probably means that multi-touch input will not be required in any way, probably.
Yeah.
There has to be ways to do it otherwise. Yeah, we're definitely gonna see a bunch of games there, like the new Mario. We're gonna see all the Wii U ports that they seem to be making. Hopefully Smash.
Well, I do hope that we get to see a lot of first party games from Nintendo themselves. But not just ports. I'd like to see a lot of new games, just to see what the Switch is actually capable of. I'm not really that crazy about true and realistic graphics. I'm more for the very like amazing, cartoonish fantasy style.
Yeah, I don't really care about the graphics, like as long as the games are good.
Yeah.
Because I think I've said, like, I've recently been cataloging my favorite games of the year for each year. I have them up on my website if you want to check it out. And when I just kind of looked through all the releases from each year and noted down which ones I played, like the amount of games that I've actually played from 2012 to 2015 or 16, I mean, has gone down extremely, like a lot. Like my 2016 list is like half my 2012 list.
That's sad.
Yeah, and it just kind of goes to something that I've been talking about a lot lately, is that no one makes games for me anymore.
Yeah.
Like if the games I want to play this year were like Titanfall, Uncharted 4, Watch Dogs 2, Pokemon, like that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Everything else was kind of just lucky coincidences that I just ran into something that I like to play, like Doom. Doom is really good. Have you played Doom?
Nope.
You should play
Not
Doom.
even the original.
I don't care about the original. I haven't played it either. The new Doom is really good.
Okay.
Anyway, let's move on to the next story. So the next two stories are kind of weird stories that just kind of showed up for no reason. Okay, so the first one is that Nintendo confirmed that the Nintendo Switch is not backwards compatible with physical 3DS and Wii U games, which to me is like, of course it's not.
It makes sense.
Yeah, of course it's not. Like, we can see pictures of the new game cards.
Yeah.
It looks noticeably different from the 3DS cards.
Mm-hmm.
And do you really think that it's gonna grow a CD player out of nowhere? Like, no. It's pretty obvious that it's not backwards compatible.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
The only thing I do if they were to emulate some of the 3DS games or Wii U games and sell it on the eShop.
I don't think the Switch is powerful enough to emulate those games. I think they're gonna have to be manually ported. And also, the Switch has been announced to be a single screen experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's not possible to do it dual screen, which makes pretty much every Wii U and 3DS game unplayable because you need two screens. So you have to kind of port them manually and like make those features available somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the second story, which was like kind of just IGN being, I don't know if it was just IGN, but it was a story that Nintendo Switch will support Unreal Engine 4. And like they wrote it as like, okay, they got a new partner, but Epic Games was on their partner list that they announced. So I don't know if it's just kind of the guy that wrote the story didn't know that Unreal Engine is made by Epic Games.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But yeah, like everyone in the comment section just says like, yeah, we know Epic Games is on the list in the middleware section, like with Autodesk and all these companies that are clearly not making games.
Yeah.
So it was kind of this non-story. I mean, I love IGN, but like, I just feel like at this point, with these two stories, they're just making stories to make stories about the Switch. But yeah, not trying to hate, but I just wanted to say that. So yeah, the next story is the Animal Crossing Direct.
Oh yeah, I still need to watch that one. I'll check it out later too. But
so yeah, it was just aired like before we recorded. We didn't watch it, but I'm just kind of looking at this this article here. So yeah, it's a free update that is available now that allows you to scan Amiibo figures or cards. And it will show up prompt this character called Wisp. That allows you to show you can even use Amiibo franchises for like Zelda and Splatoon apparently. Which is cool. So yeah, you can also make like I believe you can make what's it called, existing villagers come to your city and they will live in like an RV.
Wow.
So yeah, and it also apparently they're porting a lot of the mini games from Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival to allow you to play in New Leaf. So yeah, just kind of a bunch of stuff being added to a 3-year-old game.
Well, I mean, I think it's like a nice little update, especially for like fans like me of the series.
Yeah.
Because we haven't got that much of like content except for they give away like each month, I think, or for each like specific times they'll give away gifts to you, but it's either like furnitures or clothings and stuff like that for your character.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I think the DLC is basically just because the Wii U Animal Crossing didn't end up being a thing.
Yeah.
I think what happened is that the Animal Crossing that we're probably gonna see show up on NX is the Animal Crossing that was in development for Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of Amiibo festival game that we got was just kind of mini games cut from that game, just to kind of give something to the Wii U. Just keeping it on life support, you know. Also, just quick mention about the Wii U. They did announce that they are stopping production of the Wii U.
Oh,
so they will no longer be the last Wii U that will ever be produced. Has just rolled off the production line, like this week.
Oh.
So yeah, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad when you think about it, but it's also a good thing because they need to focus on Switch.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always sad when a console dies. But yeah, the next story is that Facebook launches Game Room.
Wow.
We're not going to talk about this a lot, but okay. Basically, what it seems to be is kind of Facebook's answer to Steam and Origin and stuff like that, which we really don't need. I mean, we have enough.
Yeah, exactly.
We have enough platforms on PC.
But I mean, did they reveal anything about will it just be like the Facebook app games that they have, or will they actually be other games too?
I don't know. I didn't read a lot of it. I don't really care. Let's just move on to the next story. Okay. Yeah, so the next story is that PlayStation Experience 2016 has been announced. PlayStation Experience is PlayStation's kind of E3 style thing, where they just it's really they have a press conference every year there, and they also have these really cool dev interviews, or like they interview developers, and they also have panels where developers talk about their games. 2 years ago, Uncharted had this really cool panel about how they render the game, and they showed like these high quality renders that literally looked like a real person. It was really fucking cool. So yeah, I watched some of those panels. I didn't really watch any panels from last year's experience.
No, me
I don't
neither.
know why, but maybe I'll check them out. But yeah, of course we're gonna see the press conference. They're probably gonna talk about the PlayStation 4 Pro, which no one cares about, and fucking 4K and whatever. Like, no one cares about the PlayStation. Do you care about the PlayStation 4 Pro?
No, I'm glad I'm not the only one thinking that.
Yeah, like, I did you watch the announcement press conference?
Yes, I did.
That was the most boring ass shit I've ever seen.
God.
But man, his voice is like the best voice ever. Like, it was boring as fuck, but like just listening to him talking about it just kind of made it interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in thinking about it afterwards, I kind of realized how boring it actually was. And you, from that presentation, you can also see that Sony doesn't know how the fuck to market this thing.
Nope.
They have no idea what to say about it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not that excited or interested in it anyways. The only thing that it does is for players to kind of replay some games with a little better picture quality, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Maybe some performance too, but
what's really cool about Rise of the Tomb Raider on PlayStation 4, if you play it on the PS4 Pro, they have this kind of different modes that you can play the game in.
You mean so
if you connect your PlayStation 4 Pro to a 1080p television, and playing Rise of the Tomb Raider, you have multiple options to play. So you have enhanced visuals mode, which basically just puts all the settings to like very high or something. It just makes the game, it locks it to 30 frames per second, and it just looks beautifully.
Yeah.
And then they also have performance mode, where you can just play in 60 frames per second.
Mm.
I mean, it targets 60, but he said that it like goes down to 45 at points and stuff like that. But it's
Yeah.
still cool. So yeah, that's definitely how I feel PS4 Pro support should be done.
Mm.
Allow players to choose how they wanna use that extra power.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think we're gonna see on the PlayStation Experience press conference?
Um, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I feel kind of that I've let down PlayStation and Sony in general the
Yeah,
last couple of years
I'm also really let down by them.
because there's nothing really that exciting anymore.
Yeah, I know. Like they don't focus on first party exclusives anymore.
Yeah.
Like the
That's
only I've talked about this a lot, but when Uncharted 4 came out,
mhm.
like it just hit me how bad this generation has been. Like games are just released unfinished and broken,
Yeah.
and like they're just kind of lacking overall.
Hmm.
So yeah, and Uncharted 4 was just a complete game.
Yeah.
There are like extra modes and stuff like that. You can play the entire game in 8-bit.
Wow.
Yeah, with 8-bit sounds, and you can also play the entire game in black and white, and like there are just so many different funny modes. You can play the entire game in slow motion.
Well, I mean, that's a nice option to give to the players. Just
Yeah,
that little
and
touch.
it had single player and multiplayer, and yeah, it was just a full fledged experience that
Mm.
really was worth $60.
Yeah.
So, yeah, um, yeah, I think as we talked about before we started recording, that game company announced or has started teasing their new game.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're gonna see that at PlayStation Experience.
Hmm.
It is a multi-platform game, so I'm not 100% sure about that. But I think it's possible that we're gonna see it there. They
Yeah.
announced that God of War will not be at PlayStation Experience.
Hmm.
Um, also, do you also think that God of War just looks like The Last of Us?
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Like, do you mean gameplay wise or what?
Just like gameplay and feel and story, it just looks like okay, we need to reinvent God of War. Again, Last of Us was pretty cool. All right, let's just make it last. Let's just make a new Last of Us. Like, okay, that's cool. Let's just make a
Well,
new Last of Us. That's cool.
from what I've known, the God of War games are more like a hack and slash game, right?
Yeah,
As long as they keep
with an
that,
extremely one-dimensional character,
yeah.
Kratos just being like annoying and like like all the time, just screaming all the time, just angry at everyone. It's just like, you cannot relate to him in any way.
Uh, God. Well, I mean, as long as they keep what is God of War in terms of gameplay and just bring back a good story, then that's fine by me, even though if it's gonna resemble a lot of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good game.
Yeah. I think we're gonna see the Uncharted 4 story DLC.
Oh,
Last of Us story DLC was revealed at PlayStation Experience 2014.
wait, there's a new DLC coming for
2013,
the.
I think.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a single player story DLC coming to Uncharted 4.
hmm.
Not and nothing has been announced about like what it features or anything like that.
Hmm.
I have my ideas, but I haven't played the game, so I will not say anything. Yeah. So the next story is a sad story, which is that United Front Games has shut down.
Oh,
So I was kind of a big fan of United Front Games. I really liked Mod Nation Racers, Little Big
yeah.
Planet Karting, and Sleeping Dogs.
Hmm.
Sleeping Dogs was like one of these games that could really stand up to GTA.
Yeah.
It was just a really cool game that had a really awesome combat system,
Hmm.
and just it really felt different. It felt like you were in another country.
Hmm.
Um, Yeah, it was just a really cool game. Mod Nation Racers. I went back to play it on my PS3 just a few days ago. Started playing, and everything just went back to me immediately. I sat down in a car and went up to a jump, double tapped X for some reason, and started moving the right stick to the right, which makes you jump off the jump and then start rotating.
Okay.
And it just kind of was like muscle memory. I just started playing, and then for some reason, I just felt like doing that. Yeah, I spent a lot of time with that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just fun to make characters.
Mm.
Yeah, and Little Big Planet karting wasn't as good, but it was still fun to play.
Yeah.
Just making stages, making courses.
Mhm.
I remember like looking at Mario Kart and just trying to recreate the courses.
Yeah.
And were just a lot of Mario Kart inspired courses and stuff like that.
Mm.
That reminds me of. Do you know about this parody Twitter account of the president of Sony?
No, I don't.
Okay, so there's this. I don't know if he's the president. Sorry, Cassie Rai. Anyway, there's this kind of parody account that he just kind of talks shit about PlayStation, but he talks like he works at PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so he said when Mario Maker came out, or let's just kind of wind back, like when Little Big Planet came out.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was like, "Oh, we're making Mario levels and all that stuff." Like everyone just made the first level of Mario, right?
Yeah.
And in Mod Nation Racers and Little Big Planet karting, everyone made like Mario Kart levels and stuff like that. So he sent out a tweet when Super Mario Maker came out, like, "I can't wait for people to make the first stage of Little Big Planet." That's so true, because no one's gonna make the first stage of Little Big Planet in Mario Maker.
I don't even remember if that was a fucking stage. It was just like a tutorial introduction, and that was about it.
But it's so true, because like Mod Nation Racers and Little Big Planet are these kind of blank slates that you just put things into, and Mario Maker already has a theme.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's that reason or that Mario is just a lot more iconic, but yeah, it's just a funny thing to think about. Yeah. Just seeing like, who the fuck would make the first stage of Mario Maker, or the first stage of Little Big Planet in Mario Maker. So yeah, the next story is that Bethesda will no longer be giving out early review copies to the media. So yeah, Bethesda Softworks, publisher of Skyrim, Fallout, Doom, and Dishonored and other titles, they will no longer be giving out early review copies to sites like IGN or GameSpot or YouTubers or anything like that, in order for them to be able to have a review on day one. And I mean, this doesn't hurt us necessarily as gamers, but I think it kind of does a little bit. I mean, this is obviously a greedy choice on Bethesda's part.
Yeah.
What they want from this is that, okay, even if our game's shit, we can release it and no one will cancel their pre-orders.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of a big problem on its own. Don't pre-order games. It's fucking stupid. Like, why are you giving them money before they have given you anything? It's dumb. I mean, it's okay to pre-order when you've already seen a review. Like, Titanfall reviews came out 4 days prior to release. So, like, I knew I was going to buy the game anyway, but I still waited for reviews, because maybe this game just kind of went downhill real steep, like, in the last second. Like, who knows? It happens. Like, look at Mafia 3, for instance. That game fucking sucks, and no one thought it would. But then I saw reviews and like, okay, it's good. It's actually better than Titanfall 1. And then I pre-order and I got the pre-order bonuses. But like,
Well, I mean,
and that I
I think
pre-ordered it just like a few days before release, and I got it preloaded. So I got all the benefits of pre-ordering, and I got all the benefits of not pre-ordering at the same
yeah,
time.
exactly.
But this basically makes it impossible for people that just can't wait to buy a game, be able to see how the game is before release. So basically, if you want to see a critical, if you want to see a review of any of Bethesda's games, you're gonna have to wait,
Mm.
which is not a bad thing because, like, if you've waited years for this game, so why can't you just wait a few more days? Like, but yeah, it's just kind of a dumb thing, and Bethesda, they just everyone loves Bethesda anyway,
Yeah,
for no reason, I think. I mean, they're not that great. Like Skyrim and Fallout are the fucking buggiest games of all time.
yeah,
But for some reason, everyone loves them, so they can make this decision without any consequences.
it's true.
Yeah. Next story is that The Last Guardian goes gold.
Yes, finally, whatever that means. But as long as that means that I'll be able to get my hands on the game, that just makes me happy.
Yeah, so that means that it's gonna be released on time, December 6th, I believe.
Hmm.
Which is later than when it was supposed to come out.
Do you think they were gonna like keep pushing the release date until they're like, no, we're just gonna,
I mean,
cancel it?
when they announced the release date like at E3 last year or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's gonna come out in October. Then later they announced a specific date, I believe.
Hmm.
And then they delayed it. Like, okay, you delayed the game that's been delayed a million times. I don't
Yeah.
believe this game is ever coming out.
Well, I mean, I don't think we had that big titles occurring and getting released at the same time, right? What games did we get like now in October? It wasn't that many great games.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we got like Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 and stuff like that.
I mean, that would have hurt the release of The Last
Yeah,
Guardian.
but The Last Guardian was only delayed because they needed more time.
To what?
I don't know. They've been working on this game for fucking 10 years. I don't know what they have done. Naughty Dog made Uncharted 1, 2, 3, The Last of Us, and Uncharted 4 within the
Yeah.
time that this game has been in development. And it's probably not going to be as good as any of those games.
Stop. I'm real looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really great game.
I
It's going to
don't-
be like,
I don't
You don't
think
think
the game's
so?
going to be good. I don't think it's going to be good at all.
why not?
Because it's, I don't know. I haven't
Because
played.
it's not a shooting game?
I don't know. Like, I don't think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be like The Last Guardian. It's gonna be like No Man's Sky. People are just extremely overhyped for this game. A game from a developer that is kind of not like it is. It is a very niche developer. Like,
Yeah.
everyone talks so greatly about like Shadow of the Colossus, but not a lot of people's play that game. But everyone's like, oh, it's the developers of Shadow of the Colossus. Everyone's gonna play this game. Like, no one's gonna play this game.
Well, I think it's because those kind of games are the ones that don't appeal to the generic people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It takes kind of like you really need to invest some time and effort into playing those kind of games, because if you just compare it to today's games, then it's not going to feel the same. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. It's just a different type of game.
Yeah, but what's also been, from what I've seen of previews of this game, is
Yeah.
that it apparently has a very, very, very dated control scheme. Like, it feels like a PlayStation 2 game. In the worst ways, apparently.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm very skeptical of the game. I don't even know if I'm gonna buy it. I would rather just play like I would rather go back and play Shadow of the Colossus for the first time.
Uh,
I never played that game, so Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Next story is that Titanfall 2. Well, the next story is just a review roundup of Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has a Metascore of 89,
Hmm.
which is pretty good. Let's read some of the reviews. We have some 10s here,
Yeah.
which I wouldn't agree with. I love the game, but I wouldn't say it's a 10. Yeah, let's see if we can find the first like review that I would believe in, or just from a place that I've heard before.
Yeah.
Damn, Giant Bomb gave it 100, like a full score. Titanfall 2
Well,
might not fix every issue you had with the previous game, and depending on your tastes, it might introduce one or two new ones. But it's a bigger and bolder game that makes few chances and comes out better and more distinctive for it. On top of all that, it simply feels great. From that description, I wouldn't say it's a perfect 10, but I mean, yeah, whatever. I guess IGN. It's rare that a sequel evolves on every part of the original concept so consistently for the better. But Titanfall 2 is that exception. It's feel good movement and is the foundation for both the engaging action and platforming gameplay of its strong campaign and its over the top competitive multiplayer.
mm. Well,
GameSpot. Titanfall 2 demonstrates a vitality that its predecessor couldn't, whereas the first Titanfall kept up its breakneck pace throughout the entirety of every match. Titanfall 2 understands that sometimes dialing things back for a few moments can make the long run much more enjoyable.
mm.
So yeah, I mean, it's getting great reviews. Sadly, have you read about EA's kind of tactic that they went with for the Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1 thing?
Mm-mm.
So they released Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1 just a week from each other,
Mm-hmm.
which is fucking stupid. Why would you release your own two FPS games 1 week from each other?
I have no
That's
idea.
really dumb. Their tactic was that, okay, if we throw just everything we have at Call of Duty, we might destroy Call of Duty. But what happens instead is that, yeah, everyone plays Battlefield 1 and no one plays Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
And what they should have done instead is that they should have released Titanfall 2 next year.
Mm.
Because next year they're not going to have an FPS to battle Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Because they released everything this year. I mean, yeah, they're probably gonna have Battlefront, the next Battlefront.
Mm.
But yeah, I just think this was a really stupid tactic. This will probably just kill the Titanfall franchise, which I really hate because Titanfall is like the only FPS that I've ever really gotten into.
Mm.
So yeah, it really sucks, and I hope this isn't the death of the Titanfall franchise.
No, they're probably gonna keep it alive with like DLC and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
but it's like really a big question if you're even gonna see Titanfall 3. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, so next thing we're gonna talk about is Doctor Strange and its review roundup.
Mm-hmm.
So on Rotten Tomatoes, it has 90% certified fresh. Yeah, so it has the Rotten Tomatoes like certified marking on it, and 90%
Okay,
score.
I've never heard about Rotten Tomatoes before. What's this?
You've never heard about Rotten Tomatoes?
Nope.
Click the link in the document. You've never heard about Rotten Tomatoes?
No.
It's a review aggregate for movies. What? You've never heard about Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, I usually like when I go for movie reviews and stuff, I always go to IMDb or something.
I think they have the Rotten Tomatoes score on IMDb.
Oh, okay. So
Anyway,
it's just like oh yeah, never mind.
yeah. So let's see some of the reviews that people have said. Doctor Strange really does show you a few new things, or at least familiar things, in a clever new way. So that's cool. It's fun to have a new version of an old Marvel favorite, a storyline which adds some genuine mysticism to this ever-expanding franchise. Yeah, there are some bad reviews too. Nobody's having much fun here, well, except for Doctor Strange's devilish cloak of levitation. Okay. Yeah, but I really liked the movie. I thought it was awesome. It was a really, like, as I said to you before recording, the final battle is not what you will expect. It's very kind of different from the normal action movie.
I need to see that.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get to the next one, and that is that George Lucas is not involved in Indiana Jones 5. So this is probably a good thing. I don't know if there are multiple rumors that I've heard. I don't know if they talk about this in the article. I've heard that they're gonna star Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones in this movie.
Again? Isn't it like time for a new Indiana Jones or something? Didn't he have like a son?
Yeah, he had a son in the fourth movie. I hope he comes back. I mean, everyone hates the fourth movie, so we'll see what happens. But
yeah,
apparently Harrison Ford always liked Indiana Jones more than Han Solo. So yeah, from what I've heard, he's actually excited to return as Indiana Jones. Which is weird for Harrison Ford because he's never excited about anything. I mean, I believe he did the Han Solo role like just for the money. It was like, okay, am I getting paid? Sure, let's do it.
Well, spoilers, he did die in the Star Wars movie, so
yeah. Yeah, so the next story is that Donald Glover, or what you thought it was, Dolan Glover, is cast as Lando Calrissian in the young Han Solo movie.
Oh yeah.
And that like guy. If we see like comparisons between him and the actor of Lando Calrissian, they're actually pretty similar looking.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think he'd be perfect for the role.
Yeah, he's apparently a really good actor too. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome to see this movie. I was first like very against this movie because I mean, they have to like recast these characters, which is just never fun like to see. Like you had this problem with the prequels where you have what's his name, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then you have like, and that's the good Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then you go into episode 4, and this is like the really boring Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I feel like this might ruin the original Star Wars movies because these might be better versions of those characters again. And just the overall like appearance issue, like oh, he doesn't look like the other one. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think if they were gonna make prequel about anyone, Han Solo is a pretty good character to do it with.
Yeah,
because they always refer to his previous adventures and all that in the movies. So yeah, the next story, a lot of stories, is that J.J. Abrams discusses a deleted scenes from Force Awakens, where apparently, spoilers for The Force Awakens, you had your warning. Just kind of skip, just cover your ears for a few minutes. Yeah, basically they were gonna have in the what's her name, Rey.
Yeah,
you know, when she has the flashback thing, when she touches a lightsaber,
Yeah.
Apparently, she were going to see Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader fighting on Bespin, like when he loses his hand.
Oh.
She was gonna see that scene. So yeah, big news. But yeah, did you hear about like the cool things they did with that scene in
No.
Force Awakens? So you hear both versions of Obi-Wan in that section.
Yeah.
So you hear Ewan McGregor, the prequel Obi-Wan, say
Mm.
these are your first steps. But you also hear the original trilogy Obi-Wan, who is dead, the actor
Yeah.
is dead, say Rey. Which is like, how did they do that? He's dead. How did they record that? Apparently, like somewhere they had this recording of him saying "afraid," and then he just
Oh.
cut it out and say, so it sounds like he says Ray. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of teases maybe we're gonna see Obi-Wan. I hope that. I hope so. It would be cool. Anyway, next story is that maybe we shouldn't have these many stories next time. Yeah, so next story is just two tech stories here. The Surface Studio was announced,
Mm.
which is a really cool desktop computer that kind of outmaxed the Mac.
Well, that's what I didn't get that much from the trailer that we watched together. Is it just going to be like a tablet, or is it like a completely
It's desktop.
working
It's a desktop
computer?
computer.
Okay.
Yeah, a desktop computer. The kind of big miss I feel with it is that the best graphics card you can get in it is a GeForce 980M,
Mm.
which is a laptop card from the last generation of graphics cards.
Oh, wow.
So you're buying a $3,000 computer with like a last generation graphics card.
Mm.
And I feel like that's not really worth it. Like if you're gonna pay $3,000 for a computer, you should get the latest technology in it.
Yeah.
But gaming isn't really the focus either for it, so I guess it's gonna be all right. So yeah, next news is the MacBook Pro was announced, the new MacBook Pro, which has this like touch bar thing on it, which is really cool. Have you looked at this?
Nope.
So basically, the function keys on like any keyboard.
Uh-huh.
They've completely removed that entire row of keys, and now it is a multi-touch AMOLED display.
Oh.
And how they use it is that every application has these kind of context sensitive buttons.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are in like Final Cut Pro, which is Apple's video editing program, you can basically see the entire timeline on the touch display. So you can kind of scale the footage and just kind of move around and stuff like that, which is really cool. And you can also scroll through your pictures in like the picture library. So instead of having to see like the next picture and stuff buttons on the screen, you can just kind of have it on the touch bar, which is cool. And also, and also just simple things like, even if they're just simple things like buttons, instead of it saying F1, it just says what it does instead, which is just kind of handy. And they also showed, since it's a multi-touch display, this is like the only way you can like do multi inputs on a PC, which is really cool, or on a computer, because you can't really do that with a touchpad, since the touchpad is a mouse pointer.
Yeah.
So they showed this guy using like this DJ program, and he was like live DJing on stage, and it was really cool, using only the touchpad.
Well, why not, I guess.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So yeah, anyway, like it costs like um $1,799, and the 15-inch costs $2,399.
Wow.
So very expensive. All right, next up is the last story of the day, and that is kind of a scary story, which is that AT&T agrees to buy Time Warner for $85.4 billion.
Where do fucking people get that amount of money from? That's insane.
Dude, I don't know, man.
But isn't AT&T that's like the
So,
mobile company that I had my SIM card with.
yeah. So if you think about it, what is AT&T?
Like I said, mobile company.
Yeah. They control okay, so let's start like Time Warner.
Uh-huh.
They own properties like Warner Brothers, so like
Yeah.
Batman and Harry Potter, and even like in turn through a lot of like ownership stuff, they own things like Rooster Teeth
Hmm.
and just everything. They own a lot of content creation companies.
Yeah.
And then what happens when the company that is in charge of the delivery of content, which is like internet and stuff like that,
Hmm.
it's kind of scary when all of that is one company,
Yeah.
because that means that AT&T will be able to prioritize the things that they own,
Mm.
which is kind of against the net neutrality things that people are pushing.
Mm.
So yeah, this is kind of a really scary thing. People are hoping that it's not gonna even be allowed to go through.
Mm.
Because I haven't followed this story anymore, but there are a lot of stories following this. So if you are interested, go and check it out.
Yeah.
It's possible that it won't even be allowed to happen because of these reasons. So yeah, we managed to squeeze this into an hour.
That's nice.
So the show probably won't be much longer than it was last week. All right, we're done with the stories. So we'll see you again after this. All right, welcome back to the topic section of the Deal Show. Are you excited?
Yes.
Okay, so the first topic is something that we touched on in the intro, which is the meaning of words like remake, remaster, reboot, and all these words.
Hmm.
So I have done some research. I've been thinking about this way more than I should. And I have defined the 5 different meanings of these words.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so the words are re-release,
Hmm.
remaster,
Yep.
remake, reimagining, and reboot.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think re-release means?
Well, a re-release is basically just releasing the game again, right?
Yeah.
From another console.
So yeah, a re-release is when you port a game, or basically make like a game of the year edition.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's when you port a game and don't change it in any way. So basically, all these like Xbox 360 re-releases on Xbox One, like all this, but like backwards compatibility, virtual console games on Wii U, 3DS, and all that.
Yeah.
And all the kind of game of the year editions. So basically, it's when you re-release a game with no real changes to it.
Yeah.
And it kind of keeps its originality intact. Okay, so the next word is remaster. What do you think a remaster is?
Well, a remaster I think, is also like a port, but it's probably enhanced in terms of graphics, I'd say. especially like we've seen a lot of remasters going from the last generation of consoles to today's. That's what I think a remaster
Yeah.
is.
So a remaster is when you re-release a game, but it is now enhanced on a new platform.
Yeah.
So this could be in either more content or just performance enhanced or visually enhanced.
Mm.
Good examples of this are like Last of Us Remastered,
Hmm.
Tomb Raider Definitive Edition,
Hmm.
and games like that. So basically, it is just the original game, but it's been enhanced. So, for example, Last of Us Remasters runs at 1080p, 60 frames per second.
Hmm.
Same thing with Tomb Raider Definitive Edition.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a remaster. So what is a remake?
Well, a remake is kind of you take a very old game, I'd say, and update not only the gameplay, but you also update the graphics. And with that, you also incorporate more content, maybe content that they had in mind when they created the game at first, but it wasn't possible. But they have the opportunity to do that with today's technology.
So yeah, you're kind of in the middle of remake and reimagine with that description.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a remake is when you take a previous game and
Hmm.
remake it from scratch
Okay.
to be this original game. Good examples
Mm.
of this are Ocarina of Time 3D.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, maybe some remakes are made with the original and just kind of built upon that.
Hmm.
But a remake basically has like a lot of new assets.
Yeah.
Uh, so, for example, in Ocarina of Time 3D, basically every asset is remade.
Mm.
Like maybe they made this game, maybe they ported Ocarina of Time to the 3DS and made the game upon on top of it, or maybe it was
Mm.
made from scratch. Like basically, a lot of the game is new.
Mm.
Um, then okay, so next up, what is a reimagining?
Well, isn't that kind of what I said then? That it's like if they had any ideas that wasn't, what's it called? That they couldn't make available at the time, that's what they're including now.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. Kind of enhanced, take that to the next step. So a
Okay.
reimagining, good examples of reimaginings right now are the new Ratchet and Clank on PS4
Hmm.
and Final Fantasy VII, the new Final Fantasy VII quote unquote remake.
Yeah.
Which is both of these games are remakes of previous games that has a lot of new stuff in it, and
Hmm.
in certain cases are even changed completely. Like we can see in the game footage that we've seen from Final Fantasy VII that it's not
Yeah.
even turn-based anymore. Like this is a different interpretation of the source material, basically.
Mm.
And when it comes to Ratchet and Clank, uh, sorry, Ratchet and Clank, like the entire story is kind of written in a different way.
Mm.
There's a lot of new areas and new things added. So yeah, it's kind of an enhanced remake, basically, an
Got it.
extended remake.
Mm.
Okay, so what's a reboot?
Well, a reboot is you kind of have your basic concept of the game and the character, right? But instead of continuing with that same type of gameplay, you kind of start and revamp it.
Yeah,
Um, so basically include same kind of characters, but you make it into something new.
yeah,
Kind of like what they did with the Tomb Raider franchise.
yeah. So a good examples of reboots are Tomb Raider and DMC Devil May Cry,
Yeah.
which I seem to be the only fan of. So yeah, it's when you take something. Okay, so you have the remake of, the reboot of Tomb Raider.
Hmm.
Okay, so so the developers looked at Tomb Raider. Okay, what do we want to do here? we want the original character of Lara Croft. We want
Hmm.
some, like, okay, this new game will be kind of an exploration game, similar to what Tomb Raider used to be.
Yeah.
But we're going to take an entirely new spin on it, and we're going to
Hmm.
set it in a new universe. And this new Lara Croft is an entirely new character.
Yeah.
It has no connection whatsoever to the previous games.
Hmm.
That is a reboot. A reboot. Similar thing happened with DMC Devil May Cry,
Yeah.
and some other games as well. So yeah, for anyone who is confused about what these words mean, please refer them to this moment in our podcast. Do you have any kind of concerns or changes that you feel like you want to make to this,
To what?
to these definitions of the words that I have just created?
No, I mean, I think they're pretty self-explanatory, but I think a lot of people don't really know the terms about it, especially like when they hear an announcement about a game getting like a re-release or a remaster or remake. Those are usually the three ones that people get confused. It's like when you get like a re-release or remaster, people are like, it looks exactly like the same game.
Yeah.
But what are you expecting? That's what a remaster is. It's just updated with the graphics,
Yeah.
and that's it. So yeah, no, you got them pretty spot on.
Yeah, and that is like when you look at when they announced the quote unquote remasters of
Hmm.
Crash Bandicoot, everyone was like, "Is this a remaster or a remake?" Because who the fuck wants a remaster of a PlayStation 1 game? It will look terrible. Like, who wants that? It has to
Well,
be a remake, right? It has to be a remake.
I think they will do a remake, but I wouldn't mind a remaster either, as long as it's just like updated visuals and upscaled. That wouldn't
But if it
bother
is
me
if it is
at
updated
all.
visuals, then it's a remake.
But
Like,
no, it's not. It's just like upscaled
yeah. So
to,
you mean that they have the PlayStation 1 assets outscaled to
yeah,
1080p?
exactly.
But
And
that's
people
gonna
would
look
probably,
horrible.
like, I wouldn't mind because it would bring so much nostalgia. Okay, maybe I'm living too much in the past, but that's like what you grew up with. I wouldn't mind it at all because I've gone back and played some of the old classic PS1 games, and some of them still works today. The only issue here is, yes, you will have a lot of tearing and a lot of graphical issues. That's not going to stop me from like enjoying and playing it.
The only tearing I will have is the tears that will go out of my eyes when I realize that it's not a remake.
Yeah. No, but hopefully they will make like a
I
complete
mean,
remake.
yeah, like there's no way that they need this much time to
No,
remaster PlayStation 1 games.
that's true. I just hope that
Yeah.
it doesn't ruin the entire experience. The artwork game,
Yeah.
they released or remade the
The
what's it
first game.
called? Yeah, the first game,
Yeah.
um,
New and
new and
tasty.
tasty,
Yeah.
and that was kind of a letdown for me, because it plays so differently. I mean, it looks amazing, but the same game mechanics and the atmosphere and everything is not there.
Hmm.
Um, so that was kind of a letdown for me for a remake. Um,
Okay.
but we'll see.
Yeah. I've never
I'm
played. I played like um Oddworld once, the PlayStation 1 version of the original game, and I did
yeah.
not like it at all.
Why not?
It was just
What is
very
there not?
stiff and trial and error and stuff, and it was
Well,
just
yeah.
not the kind of a game for me.
Oh, you should give it a try. The first one is more difficult, I'd say. Um, the second one,
Also just hasn't aged very well.
you don't think? I still play it. I think it looks really, I mean, it has its own styles to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I think Crash will be fine. Hopefully, if it's under management by Naughty Dog, but
I hope
is
that
it?
Naughty Dog has some kind of supervision on it.
Yeah, as
I
long
mean,
as it.
if it's just a remake, then they're probably not. I mean,
Yeah.
it's possible that they went to Naughty Dog and like, what do you think about it? Yeah, it looks cool. Keep going.
Well, as long as they don't make him a retard like they did with Skylanders, I'm fine with
Yeah,
it.
it seems like Activision isn't really even what's it called involved in it.
And that's good. Cool.
Which is it's kind of weird. Like it seems like it seems almost like Sony and Activision just has this like shared ownership of Crash Bandicoot right now.
God.
Sony just goes to Crash and like, can we just have him for a little while, please? It's like just Crash just
Oh,
lives with separated parents.
well, that's true.
Activision is like, be in Skylanders now. Crash like, okay. And then Sony's like, please come to us. We can make new games for you.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, as now that we're on that topic, I really hope that they revive Spyro. Did you ever play the Spyro games?
I've never played the Spyro games.
Oh, you should definitely do
I
that.
can tell you that Spyro will never be revived.
I fucking hate
Skylanders is
that.
too big for Spyro to get its own series.
But Spyro isn't not he's not Skylanders. He's just part of the Skylander
Uh,
universe.
it was called Skylanders Spyro's Adventure.
Yeah, I know, and then they expanded on that shit, and now he
I
doesn't
know.
have anything on it.
No, he's barely even involved in the series anymore.
So what's the point of keeping him? Like,
I don't
sell
know.
him on.
Activision is just evil. They're
God.
evil.
It's like, why do they take all these old from like memorable characters and make them retards? I
Like,
don't
why
get
did
that.
they give Crash tribal tattoos? That was
Yeah,
just
exactly.
weird.
Oh my God, don't say that they're gonna like get their hands on the
No,
Jack and
no.
Daxter
So
series too.
Sony owns Jack and Daxter.
Okay, good.
Did you know that The Last of Us actually started out as a Jack and Daxter reboot?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Joel was Jack and Ellie was Daxter. But when they like no, it wasn't supposed to be The Last of Us. Like basically they started out as a Jack and Daxter reboot, but like
Mhm.
all the ideas they got were just too realistic for the franchise.
Well, yeah.
So it just grew into its own its own IP,
Mm.
which is really interesting. And they it's not like they are quiet about it. Like they are very open about the fact that it started out as a Jack and Daxter game.
Mhm.
Like when people ask them like, would you ever make a new Jack and Daxter game, they say like, yeah, The Last of Us was supposed to be a Jack and Daxter game,
Mm.
but it just didn't feel like a Jack and Daxter game, so we made a new IP out of it. But yeah, do you want to move on to the next topic?
Sure.
All right, so the next topic is just kind of a general discussion about the quality of games in this generation,
Mm.
and mainly aimed at Sony. So yeah, I mean, you have concerns about this as well. So why don't you just start off, because I feel like I talked about this a lot.
Well, I mean, I just feel like today's games aren't that memorable anymore. I still remember back to when I was a kid and you had like tons and thousands of games that you hadn't played, but once you got your hands on it and you finished it, you kind of remembered everything that happened within that game that made you happy and satisfied.
Yeah.
Today's games are kind of like bland. I usually get really hyped for games, but once I've played it and finished it, I don't seem to like be that amazed at the end of the day. It's like once I finish it, I just like put it aside and move on.
Yeah.
And I can't really think back to like, oh, I remember playing this game and that thing happened. It just doesn't resemble in today's games, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, I remember when you were talking about the Order 1886.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, you're not getting that game? It looks so cool." I'm like, "Dude, this looks like a trash bag
I was like,
from
that's gonna
20
be like
miles away." And you were
this
like,
is
"How?" And then you played it, and you seemed pretty satisfied with it. But like, we haven't talked about it since. Like, how do you feel about the Order
N-
1886?
I mean, I was
I haven't
pretty
played it, so don't spoil it.
okay.
Feel like I'm
No,
gonna play it someday.
I mean, it's like it's a good game to play, but once you have finished it, I thought they were gonna make a sequel to it, but now, as it seems, it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. But never mind. I really liked it a lot, but
You
it's like
liked it?
yeah, I did. Gameplay wise, it was kind of boring, not that much exciting, except for the arsenal of weapons that they had offered to you. Um, but it's not like I tried to keep the hype alive, I think. I tried to like make you play it and everyone else play too, just to think like to convince myself that it's actually a really, really good game. I mean,
Yeah,
graphics wise and story wise, it's like really great. But it's just one of those games that I just platinumed it and that's it. And I pre-ordered it, which I kind of regret.
yeah.
Um,
Like the thing is, like when we moved on from the PlayStation 3 generation,
mm,
the beautiful generation of the PlayStation 3, where we had these just PlayStation exclusives that just came out. They
yeah.
just came out and no one really cared about them, but they were really good games.
Hmm.
And then the PlayStation 4 generation started, and we got like Killzone Shadowfall and like Knack, and then we got like Infamous Second Son.
Mm,
And like the games were like, all right, Knack was just kind of bad. I didn't play it, but it doesn't seem very fun at all.
no.
Infamous Second Son was just cool, but it wasn't really as good as Infamous 2.
Mm,
Shadowfall is arguably the best Killzone game, but Killzone wasn't good to begin with, really. It was just kind
mm,
of boring. Um, but and then after Infamous Second Son, it was just nothing.
yeah.
Like it was just nothing. Like nothing happened. And
Mm,
then like okay, yeah, like the Order 1886 came out, but no one cared about that. You cared
yeah.
about it, but no one else. And then just like no, from the release of Infamous Second Son, nothing happened except the Order. No one cares about until Dawn.
Yeah.
And Until Dawn was this just completely typical PlayStation 3 game. It was a great game that Sony didn't care about. Instead, it was like, oh yeah, the Order 86, that's gonna be a good game. No one likes it, but it's gonna be a good game. We're gonna put all our marketing into this game that's really bad and not care at all about Until Dawn. Until Dawn is a fucking great game. Have you played Until Dawn?
No, but I mean, I think I'd like it, but it wouldn't be that much of a wow experience for me either. I mean, I've seen vids
Yeah.
of it on YouTube.
The thing is, like, Until Dawn is a good game, but when you have the rest of the PlayStation 4 exclusive line of
Mm.
games to compare to, it is a fucking masterpiece. Because everything else is just so bad. And then Uncharted 4 comes out and
Yeah.
just tramples every other PlayStation, every other game released this generation
Mm.
like they're ants. Uncharted 4 is so much better than everything else. And the thing is, like, when I have just kind of fed myself with the same kind of mindset that you did with 1886.
Mhm.
Like, oh yeah, this game is good. Like, it's good. Yeah, you should buy this game. It's a good game. Then Uncharted
Yeah.
4 comes out, and it's like a shot. It's like my brain just got shot. And everyone, like, oh my god, I've been living this lie for like 3 years. This is actually a great game. Everything else is just fucking trash. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit, but like just a little bit. But like it was
No.
just kind of this realization that Sony just isn't what they used to be.
Yeah.
And it's really sad because, like, meanwhile, I'm playing Wii U and 3DS and playing these awesome games.
Yeah.
Like Mario Kart 8, Smash Bros, Super Mario 3 was kind of bad, but it's better than most games. I mean, it's not as Galaxy, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
And you got like Pikmin 3, and you got like Wind Waker HD, and you got like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which is a pretty fun game, and you got like Hyrule Warriors, which is kind of a whatever, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of awesome games on Wii U, and then PS4 is the console that sells. Wii U has amazing games on it, which is why I'm excited for hoping for that the Switch will actually go mainstream, because Nintendo is the only one I feel that is delivering games that I want to play.
Yeah, it's true. Because, I mean, regardless of it being popular or mainstream or not, all, if not most of their games are pretty good quality.
Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo, not Sony.
That's the thing. Like, Nintendo are the only ones. Splatoon is really good. Nintendo are the only ones that will not release a broken game in 2016. Like, when you get a Nintendo game and it's broken, I don't think that's ever happened.
That would be the end of the world.
Yeah. Like, it's just, I just feel like Nintendo are the only ones that actually want to make great games. Everyone else just kind of feels like, oh, we're just going to push out these games. Like, people buy them. That's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe my arguments feel kind of empty or whatever, but...
No, because, I mean, emotions do belong to what we feel about games. I completely agree with you, because I can't really remember the last time when I was really excited about a game.
Yeah, that is Uncharted 4 for me.
Yeah.
So we had our small game project in school that day when Uncharted 4 came out, and I asked if I could stay home to play the entire game in one sitting, but they needed me to come in for just a little bit, so I just played the entire game in 2 sittings.
Okay.
The same day, like, I played the entire game in 2 sittings, and it was probably like one of the best experiences I have ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4 is so good. You have to get it right now. You have to go buy the game. Like, we can skip the rest of the podcast. Just go buy the game and play it. No, but like, Uncharted 4 is, if you go and check my top games list, like, Uncharted 4 is on second place on my top games of all time.
Yeah.
And Uncharted 4 is representing like the entire Uncharted franchise, but I feel Uncharted 4 is the best one of the 5 games. But yeah, something else you could just add into this is just Halo. Have you played Halo?
I did actually play the first Halo game, and I did play the second one too, I believe.
So the first time I played Halo was with the Master Chief Collection on Xbox One. I actually bought my Xbox One to play Halo, and I played the first Halo, and I'm like, "Are you serious? This is what everyone's so excited about?
You didn't like it?
This can't be true. Like, is this what everyone's so excited about?" And I played for like an hour, and I was like, "This is complete trash. This is extremely boring." So I started listening to podcasts, and I just kind of mindlessly kept playing the game. And then just a few hours later, it was done, and I was like, okay, I guess. I had listened to like 6-7 hours of podcasts and just didn't care about the game. I just played through it. And then I played Halo 2. Halo 2 was like slightly better because like they had just remade the Halo 2. So it had really cool cinematics or whatever. But that game was just also kind of boring. The thing is with Halo 2 is to avoid loading screens. They have these long, and this was back on the Xbox hardware, of course, the original Xbox hardware. To avoid loading screens, they have these kind of hallways that makes you go, okay, you go walk forward and to the right, then you go forward, then to the left, and then you go forward. So these hallways are everywhere. They're everywhere. So the thing I remember most about Halo 1 and Halo 2 is walking to the right, walking forward, walking left, and walking forward. Or walking to the left, walking forward, walking right, walking forward. That's everything I remember about those games. Except for like the final scene of Halo 2. It's like, finishing this fight. Or whatever. And then Halo 3, which was just the Xbox 360 version. And people were like, oh my god, Halo 3 is so good. And then like just looking at the cinematic quality of that game, it's just like the okay. Like looking at the cinematics of Halo 3 is laughable.
Yeah.
It's laughable. Like look, like the mouth syncing and stuff like that. It's just kind of open, close, and that's how they talk. And looking at the same time, Uncharted came out. Uncharted came out like I think just a year later. And just I can't play Halo 3 knowing Uncharted was just around the corner. Like the first Uncharted isn't like a great game. Like it's a great game, but it's not like a masterpiece like the rest of the Uncharted games. But like it's still a lot better than Halo 3. So I don't understand the hype behind the Halo series. Then I play Halo 4. Halo 4 was the first game that I actually liked because they actually made Master Chief into a person. They made him into a person. Like before, he was just like there. He was just there, you know, like, oh, this is like the epic Spartan or whatever. He's like, oh, it's like the best Spartan. He's so cool. And he doesn't have a personality. Like he is nothing. He's a blank slate. Then in Halo 4, he's like, oh, that's this awesome character. Like they actually give him personality and they give him emotions and feelings and all that stuff. And everyone hates on Halo 4, but I think Halo 4 is the best one. And we're talking like best one. It like, okay, it's pretty low, but it's still the best game in the series. And then Halo 5 comes out. Oh my god, Halo 5 comes out, and oh my god, what a joke that game is.
Well, I don't know. I never played the third and the fourth game, so I can't say. But the first one, I mean, I liked it. I don't know why you're hating.
You know
on
how
it.
the story advances in the first like few chapters of that game.
Yeah.
So, Master Chief is like with his friends from the comic books. Okay, so the game kind of assumes that you've read the comic books, which I have not, and I'm not gonna do that. So I have like no idea who these guys are, and they do literally no introductions to these characters. They're just there, and like, okay, cool, whatever. And then Master Chief just kind of falls together and has this vision, and then Cortana is in the dream was like, oh, go here, okay, cool. And then he wakes up like, we're supposed to go here, okay. Good writing, guys. That's really good. Wait, great job, guys. What the fuck? What's that? What is that all about? Like, okay, there's no traces of mind reading or telepathy in this entire series, and all of a sudden Cortana is like, oh, go here, cool, okay, cool. There's no explanations behind it. I don't fucking know what happened. And then also 90% of the game you're not even playing as Master Chief. You're playing as this new stupid character who's called Agent Locke that no one likes. No one likes him. Like, he's not interesting whatsoever. And then everyone was like super pissed in Halo 4 when they just showed a little bit of his face. And everyone was like, oh my god, they showed a bit of his face. How dare they do that? We don't want to see his face. And I'm like, I want to see his face. I want to see this character. And then in Halo 5, they're like, no, we're not going to show the face because people don't want to see it. And it's like this weird scene at the end of Halo 5 where Agent Locke and Master Chief kind of teams up, and it shows that okay, in Halo 6 we're gonna like they're gonna team up in Halo 6.
Yeah.
And Agent Locke takes off his helmet and like brings out the shake hands with Master Chief, and Master Chief doesn't take off his helmet and shakes his hand. It was just awkward and weird. Okay, I've ranted about Halo for too long. Also, Gears of War, very overrated. Okay, maybe we should move on. I'm just pissing off every Xbox gamer in the world right now.
Fucking hater.
To be honestly, Xbox best friend, the best Xbox franchise is Forza Horizon.
Seriously, a car game?
Yeah, Forza Horizon 3 is one of the best games that's come out this year.
Oh my god, I can't remember what kind of games I played on the Xbox. Like the original one. I had like tons of games.
Blinks the Time Sweeper.
No, I don't know about that.
But let me see. The best Xbox One game is Sunset Overdrive. Have you seen that game?
I've seen it. I think you played it.
That is such a fucking awesome game. It's so cool. Like, it's just not taking itself seriously at all. You can surf on water with just your feet. It's really cool. Anyway, I think I've ranted about Xbox games not being that good for long enough.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just jump over to the topic after this. Okay, welcome back. Joey kind of has to go soon, so we have to do this section quickly. Okay, so pitch of the week. We're going to pitch Jak 4. Why don't you start off?
Well, I mean, I've only played and finished the first game. I played through the second game via the collection on the PS3, but I didn't like it.
What?
Because, yeah, I know. And a lot of people are hating on me on that. Basically, I just think that the first game and the second game, the crossover there was way too different. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it just caught me off guard. Because I saw Jak as a platforming game without this story that is needed. And so when they tried to implement that in the second game, I just was thrown off guard and I didn't like it at all.
It is very weird. It's very weird. But I mean, like, damn, dude, you have to play all those games. You have to play the entirety of Jak 2 and Jak 3. You should also play Daxter on PSP because that's kind of Daxter kind of explains the time between Jak 1 and Jak 2.
I did play the third one. That one was actually better.
Jak 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. I really love that game.
Yeah.
Like just the entire open world and the story. The story is so cool. Like, it's just this like kind of mindfuck story. Like, are you gonna play them? Can I spoil it for you?
No, you can spoil it. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna play it no matter what.
Okay, so basically, do you remember Jak 2? You remember in Jak 2? In the beginning, you meet this little kid.
Yep.
Do you know who this kid is?
I don't know. The evil of evil?
It's Jak.
Wait, so he's actually in the past?
Yes. So what is so awesome about it is that you are aiding yourself to go back in time and grow up to then go forward in time. Okay. To then meet yourself again. To then send yourself back in time and then forward in time. It's so awesome. It's this awesome like story.
Oh,
I love it. Like, the thing is, like, overall, I love time travel. Okay, this might not really be a pitch. Okay, so let's just quickly try to pitch Jak 4. But you haven't really played Jak and Daxter, so pitching Jak 4 is kind of hard.
Well, I played the first one. That's what I loved.
So basically, you wanted to go back to that.
I would like not a casual. I would want a platformer just like that one. Going back to the roots. I don't really care about the story that much as they had it in the second and third game. But maybe that's just me.
I want like an expansion of the story in Jak 3. Like, the end of Jack 3 is just kind of a war. It's like a war at the end. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is really a good discussion since you haven't played Jack 3.
I mean, I just played certain parts of it in the beginning. That's it. But from just playing that small amount, I really liked it. What else?
Like, I would just want them to keep going with the story. Don't reboot it. Just keep going with the story and have Naughty Dog make it. Don't outsource this to anyone else. We saw The Last Frontier, Jak and Daxter, The Last Frontier. It's a bad game. They should retcon it out of existence. It's not canon anymore. Like, for some reason, they're like, oh, dark eco isn't a thing anymore. Like, because, so they're like in the spirit lands of eco for some reason. Okay. And you barely even are on the ground. You fly around in planes all the time. Okay, so you're like in this, this is the source of the eco or whatever. And there's so much eco here that your dark powers aren't a thing anymore. I'm like, okay, cool, but dark eco powers were the cool things about Jak 2 and 3. So why isn't this thing anymore? And yeah, so now you have colored eco powers. So you have yellow eco powers and like blue eco powers. And like, this isn't fun. This. No, and you don't even have your light eco powers from Jak 3, which are really cool, which allows you to fly, which is fucking awesome. So yeah, just retcon that game out of existence and just kind of keep going the story from Jak 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very simple pitch since you haven't played it.
Well, I mean, I don't think they should reboot it or revamp it or anything. I mean, those 3 games were apparently good games.
What they should do, though, is update the control scheme.
Well, there's nothing bad with the control schemes either.
I mean, they're kind of dated.
Maybe. But yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just a quick pitch. I don't know. I thought about this a lot before. I probably have like notes about it somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, make Jak 4 Naughty Dog, please. I mean, I know you're probably busy making like Last of Us 2 or whatever, but just make like just separate up like a small team of developers and just make Jak 4. Just make Jak 4. It's simple.
And please do make Crash great again. I don't want any of that Activision bullshit.
This could kind of spiral off into Naughty Dog future pitch. So basically, what I want Naughty Dog to do, I want the entire team to split up into 3 small teams. One team makes Crash Bandicoot, a new Crash Bandicoot game. One team makes a new Jak and Daxter game. And one team just makes like an indie game. Like just whatever. Like just an indie game.
Yeah.
Just kind of Naughty Dog's take on an indie game. Just like a simple like Gone Home game, Gone Home style game, or just something like Firewatch or.
Speaking of that is for free on this month's PS Plus subscription. By the way,
Firewatch?
No, not. I think Gone Home.
Oh yeah, Gone Home. Have you played Gone Home?
No, I'm gonna try it out.
Play it. It's really good. Don't read anything about it. Just jump in and play it. It's like 2 hours or whatever. Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Just jump in and play it.
Got it.
It's really cool. Okay, so yeah, you kind of have to go. Yeah, this has been a long, good podcast. We've recorded for 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, that's nice. Well, yeah, thanks for having me as usual. I enjoyed it.
And also, I'm sorry for this episode being late. It was supposed to go up on Saturday, but because of scheduling issues, we had to delay. So yeah, we'll basically have episode 3 and just episode 4 being out just a few days later.
Yeah.
So do you want to be on episode 4 or not?
Yeah, I'll try to make it.
Yeah, so Absolutely. We'll find some time to record that soon. we'll have to focus on like topics and the pitch since we are basically covering like 2 weeks of news here.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, thanks for listening, watching, or whatever. And hope like this video if you liked it, and dislike it if you didn't. And subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and if you're back in time, favorite the video. No, favorite. You can still favorite the video. Give it 5 stars, and yeah, favorite the video and give it 5 stars. And yeah,
That's
hope try to like and dislike the video. I don't
well,
think
I
you can
mean,
do both, but
that's a good promotion, but yeah.
preferably like it. And tell your friends to watch watch this film. So we'll see you in the next episode of Podcast Unite. Bye.
Bye-bye.